What's up guys, it's Calrus and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be covering my favorite gold grinding locations for classic WoW. The level at which these farms can be completed range from level 30 to 60, so there's a bit of everything in here. As a general rule though, your best course of action for making gold at the lower levels is going to be fishing blackmouth and deviate pools. However, this is not a gold making guide per se, it's just a collection of locations where you can grind mobs for gold. I've also made an effort to pick locations that are lesser known and will therefore have little to no competition. The next video is going to be my hunter twinking guide, so stick around for that. Anyway, let's jump into it with location number 1. The first location we're going to be visiting is Skulk Rock in the hinterlands. This can be completed at level 46 and above and is very unlikely to have downtime. There are 3 main places you can rotate between when waiting for respawns. So you're basically never gonna have any downtime at all, even if there are people questing here. This is one of my favorite spots and was the place I grinded out levels 46 to 51 on my mage. It's so goddamn efficient, because you pick up so many potions along the way that help you maintain your speed, as well as loads of raw gold from the bags. You also get some nice vendor grey items, although the majority of the gold comes from raw silver drops, meaning less time going back and forth to the vendor. The farm is especially good when combined with herbalism and mining, because the Skulk Rock cave has loads of ghost mushrooms within it. One of the most valuable herbs, since it's quite rare and is used for ghost eye, limited vulnerability potions, shadow power and demon slaying elixirs, and of course finally invisibility potions. Since it's also a cave, you can find loads of veins as well, most of which are gonna be mithril and gold. Seriously guys, go here if you have herbalism. As a final mention, I also picked up Cassandra's Grace last time I was here, which is the pre-raid best in slot for druids and priests. The next farm is basically 4 different farms in one, but you're looking for the same items in every location. You're gonna be killing whelps in either Badlands, Swamp of Sorrows, Dustwallow Marsh, or if you're really low level, Wetlands. Dustwallow Marsh is by far and away the best farm out of all these due to the vast amount of mobs, but it is also the most likely to be contested by other players. The items you're looking for are flame sacs, which are used for fire protection potions, which granted are not really as high in demand as they were on private servers, simply due to molten core being so easy. But the mobs also drop wicked claws and they can of course be skinned. The main ticket items are the whelpling pets though. These are super rare and there is one for every kind of whelp, meaning some people will want to collect them all. As a general rule though, they're gonna take a while to sell. And even if they do bring in 1000 gold or more, I generally wouldn't recommend doing this farm. But I had to leave it in here, because you guys would have torn me to pieces if I didn't. This is a good farm for a warrior though, since the drakes are casters, they don't hurt at all, and you're not going to be competing with mages AoE surging down everything in your vicinity. Okay, so number 3, much like the slime farm, is one that I see far too few people talk about. This is great gold per hour and doesn't require any auction housing or insane RNG to be productive. You're basically running around Fellwood killing Angerclaw Maulers, which are the bears, and Fellpaw Scavengers, which are the wolves. The items you're looking for are the grey items like the bear jaws and large bear bones, but they also drop wicked claws, which you can either vendor for 5 a pop, or of course list at the auction house for profit, since it's used in 2 out of 2 best in slot items. They also drop rugged leather upon skinning, so you'll have no issue making at least 25 gold an hour doing this. Another advantage to this farm is that there are plenty of thorium veins in the area, as well as herbs all over the place, so if you have either or, in addition to skinning, you'll make a lot of money doing this. The farm is also extremely unlikely to suffer from downtime, as most people just run straight by these mobs. For the next farm, you'll want to be around level 60. This is best suited for something like a warrior, rogue or even a healer, because the mobs have to be killed one at a time. Once again, you're looking for grey items primarily that can be vendored off for profit. And this might in fact be the most gold per hour without using the auction house. That being said, you should definitely list some of the items that drop here. The most important of which is the +9 strength on bracers enchanting recipe, which is worth a lot. Since the mobs are also humanoids, and all of which are high level, you're gonna find a lot of runecloth as well, which is always in high demand and easy to sell. Finally, due to the level of the mobs, with luck you'll find some high level BoEs which can be disenchanted. There's also of course the BoEs with shadow or frost damage affixes that rack up a pretty penny on their own. Number 5 is the lowest level farm on the list, and can be done as early as level 30. However, it's still on par with the others in terms of gold per hour. That being said, the items you're aiming for are generally a bit slower to sell and do require use of the auction house. The farm is in 1000 needles and you'll be killing the screeching harpies. The harpies drop volatile plumes, which are used for the darkmoon faire tickets that in turn can be spent on epic necklaces and more. You'll be surprised how much people are willing to pay for these when the faire is released. The other item that's gonna sell right away are light feathers. This is used by mages for their slow fall ability. This is also the level range at which many level 29 twink items appear on the drop table, which are of course insanely valuable come phase 2 and 3. So the potential of this farm is insane for its level. I still only recommend this farm if you're around level 30 though, because the items do take a while to sell and it's a bit tedious if you're high level, since you're gonna kill everything too fast and find yourself waiting around for respawns a lot. At least you're still gaining experience from doing it that way. Anyway, an amazing farm for lower level players. Moving on, we have our next farm, and this is another high level one. This is most likely to be one of the most contested ones in this list, but I've still not had too many issues with competition when farming it. You'll visit Silithus and more or less just kill every elemental you see, although I prefer to linger in the northwesternmost part of the zone, killing earth and air elementals. They drop essences, which go for a tonne on the auction house and should always be listed there. They also drop elemental earth and air, which can either be vendored if you're lazy, or put up on the AH as well. And of course, loads of high level BoEs. If you're lucky, one of these green BoEs might very well go for triple digits, assuming the right affixes. The bad ones can of course always be disenchanted or just vendored for multiple gold a pop. For number 7 on the list, we're going back to Fellwood and we're going to be killing demons. Whoa, don't click off the video. I know this farm is super well known and everybody's doing it. However, I want to give a shout out to a lesser known location where you will have way less issues with competition. Instead of going north to visit the Jadefire Run, go south and visit the Jadefire Glen. Not only do you not have to deal with those annoying tricksters that mind control you and reset at 5 HP, you're also not just killing casters, meaning you can gather up some big pulls and AoE it down, if you're a paladin or a mage that is. The items you're looking for are rune and felcloth, but since these guys are level 49, some of them drop mage weave as well, which actually is worth more than runecloth on most realms right now. Additionally, you get demonic runes here, which you need for raiding anyway, so it's a very time efficient farm, even if the gold might not be as good as Deadwind Pass or Silithus. There's a lot of thorium veins in the area as well, and surprisingly many herbs as well. As a final mention, this is especially good if you're a tailor like me, since you can convert the felcloth into mooncloth for even bigger profit. Alright, we have 2 more farms to cover. The first of which is another one that can be done at relatively low level. I'd say around level 42 and above. This is a very consistent farm since the majority of your gold comes from raw vendor trash. This is also the ideal level range for Staff of Jordan, but hey, that's not really gonna happen, so don't get your hopes up. There's also a gimmicky trinket that only drops from basilisks in STV. That can of course drop here as well. It's not really good though, but it's worth a bit of chunk to some collectors. Along with the ogres in Deadwind Pass, this is probably the best farm for raw vendor value items, although it has the advantage of being completable at a lower level. They also drop wicked claws and can be skinned for additional profit. Alright, lastly we're going to Fairless and we're going to kill ogres again. Although this time they'll be at a lower level. They drop silk and mage weave cloth and different grey items that rack up a ton at the vendor. I don't know if this is random or not, but they seem to have an insane drop chance of 200 greys that all vendor for like 1g a pop, and I even had 6 mobs in a row drop greens, so this might very well be bugged, I don't know. Regardless, I like this a lot since there's not much competition for tags, but there's also quite a bit of distance to your closest vendor. And as you know, armor pieces take up a lot of room in your bags. So, I don't know if it's really that efficient going back and forth, but anyway I figured I'd leave it in simply because it's the one I'm using the most at the moment. It racks up about 25 gold an hour and it doesn't require me to list anything on the auction house, which is nice for a change. Anyway guys, that wraps it up for today. There are tons of farming spots out there and it feels kind of bad leaving it here, because I have so many more I want to cram in. But the video is already quite long, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you all have a wonderful day onwards, and peace.